YouTube, I'm back. The last couple months have been absolutely insane. In June, I was traveling more than I was home, and in July, we hosted a subathon that lasted over half the month. It's been a wild couple of months, but I'm back and I'm ready to release some new content for you guys. The Stanley Parable is a game that follows the silent protagonist, Stanley, as he goes about his day-to-day life doing his menial job, etc. Now, Stanley's entire life is being narrated by this omniscient narrator. As the player, we get to choose if we follow the narration or if we do our own thing. And what that means is that it can lead to a bunch of different endings. Now, the reason we decided to play this game now is because they just released the Ultra Deluxe version of the game recently, which I guess includes a whole bunch of new content and new endings. And so we had to give it a look because people have been telling me to play this game for quite some time. And after playing it, I can see why. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Also, I grew a mustache. Let me know in the comments if it's cool or gross. Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Have you played the Stanley Parable before? No. Oh. Oh, whoa. That's cool.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Okay.
Employee number 427.
What a depressing little...
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
No holidays?
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was he, though?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. I hate Mondays. Who doesn't hate Mondays?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Hey.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting room? Perhaps he had missed a memo. Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Can I open these doors? Bro, can I interact with anything in this game? Sales in this quarter. Damn! Their sales in quarter 4 fucking trash. Oh, y'all just fell off in March. Okay, you can recover then. You can recover. I thought that was like quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3,
Stanley
quarter 4.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Do I have the option? Wait, what if I do the door on the right? What's going to happen? Can I go through the door on the right? People were telling me this game is like Superliminal, and I feel like this is where it gets like Superliminal. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to go to the right. I just want to... But he said the left, though.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, employee lounge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Truly.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
It is
Stanley simply stood
a
here,
nice room.
drinking it all in.
I love it when they have recessed seat, like floor like that.
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
All right, fine, we'll leave.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah, motherfucker. Wait.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
He's giving me shit. You. Narrator? I saw the architectural desks. I couldn't help myself, bro.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
What are you?
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Watch this.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Absolutely none.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes, you're scaring me.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay, disembodied voice. I'll give you one chance, bro. If anything scary happens, we're done here.
Now listen carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What if I do the blue door then? But what if I do the blue door though? No. I'm gonna do the red door like he says. I'm gonna give him one chance. I said I would give him one chance. I said I would give him one chance. I'm gonna give him one chance. One chance.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
Well, I don't see that yet.
The problem is all these choices. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution.
Who are you, bro?
Here, let me show you.
Nope, I'm never listening to you again. Ah! I'm scared.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Bro, what the f is this? This shit escalated so goddamn quickly.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Where the fuck am I?
If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
What the f is up with you, bro? I'm about to leave, bro. I'm out.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Bro, you're scaring me, bro. You're scaring me. Is this a scary game?
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
What's so scary about stairs, bro? I just won't fall down the stairs.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
What the f is going on?
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Nah, you know what? F you, disembodied voice. You scared me. And therefore, this is what you get.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You have... No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back.
Shut up!
Why are you doing this?
Because you scare me, bro. Oh my God.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that you're telling me what I want to do, bro. What is this? Damn, it's so slow. Ah!
Is it over?
Nice.
It's going to restart, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm going back.
Bro, that got weird. That got really weird. What the fuck? All right, so is that like the end or now what?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What the fuck? Let's see what happens when we do what he says.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I did do that. Then what does Stanley do?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Everyone is unique. You most of all. Thanks. Number of slides in the slides. Charts, slides, charts and slides. Rate at which chart on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging. Is it upstairs, downstairs?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. What the what the God damn, you live like this? You gotta
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
He just gave me the PIN number? What the
2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Whoop-de-doo.
I'm just fucking with you, Mr. Narrator, man. I'm just fucking with you. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, it's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. It's spooky in here. We gotta push the big red button.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Okay.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Right.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Stanley's a fucking
would
idiot.
not go unanswered for long.
Okay. Ah! Fuck. Bro, don't scare me like that. Ah!
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But escape is that way. I'm gonna do what he says. I'm just gonna listen to the narrator this time. It's like binary, like ones and zeros and shit.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yep, mind control. Turn on the cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Clearly.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I mean, it's kind of like what I'm doing right now,
No.
blindly following you.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Clearly.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Well, this got crazy, huh?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What if I hit on? I'm just so curious to see what he's gonna say if I turn it on. But I'm gonna turn it off. That shit, bro. I'm not a part of this system, bro.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but
wow, the outside world.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Even though that's what you've been doing
Whatever
this
life
entire
he
time.
lives, it will be his.
Wow, this is pretty.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps
Let me go out there.
the only thing worth knowing.
Let me go out there.
Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
So he's just been in that building the whole time?
Possibility
He doesn't even have a home?
Path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things
Where
were
is this
meant to
building? The
happen.
fucking mountains of Italy? What the fuck is this?
Stanley was happy.
Then we go again?
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who the fuck is her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
What?
She's been waiting.
Who? I have an unsatisfied wife? Ah! Ah!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Why is it like...
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I did it! I picked that shit up! What? What's that?
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Ah!
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go.
What?
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about...
You're doomed. Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What the I moved! No! You!
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh, you bitch! I knew you were evil the whole time.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Press N on your keyboard. F you. No, but press everything but N, bitch. Press M. I'm gonna press B, H, J. Every key around N. F your keys, bro. I'm not pressing it. I'm gonna sit here. I'm not pressing it. Put my fucking feet up. I tell you what, I'll press N on my keyboard when you eat my... I'll press N on my keyboard then.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him. Every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I don't want to. How about I type you?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I don't have another
Now
option.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, you know what, chat? We're gonna leave it right here. We're just gonna put on some music. I got all day, motherfucker. Joke's on you, narrator. I could be here all day. Who is this fucking guy, bro? He hasn't budged. Not even an inch. I might push it, guys. I'm this close. My resolve is weakening. All right, you narrator. This whole game is like you're a little lab rat who goes to work every day, goes home, tells your wife and kids that you love them, makes dinner, goes to sleep. Comes back to work the next day, works all day, goes home, tells your wife and kids that you love them, makes dinner, watches TV, goes to sleep, wakes up, goes to work, stays at work the whole day, goes home, fucking tell your wife and your kids that you love them, make dinner, watch TV, and then you die.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
TM, just follow the line, TM.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I agree. Yeah!
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Rip.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Fuck. What
This
the
is
fuck,
the story
bro?
of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was
Stanley!
obviously crazy. This much she knew.
Stanley!
Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Is that
And
you?
in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
What the
And
fuck?
she turned and ran. How wonderful. Stanley was alone.
Oh, it's different.
Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
New content? I'm always down for new content. Oh!
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Okay.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
I don't like that.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Nice.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's a rather slow elevator.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Let's do it. The jump circle.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Huh. Nice. That was
Is that it?
fun.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
What good content? Oh, we're going up
Stanley,
again.
I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Not positive.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Hey, I've been wanting to jump this whole time, so.
And I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good.
Very good.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Don't like the way you say friend, but okay. Bro, I'm just letting him talk at this. Ooh, this is new. This is different.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be?
Yeah.
Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
What the
Just our little secret.
What the fuck is
Take a
this? What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh, not the...
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. You see,
2013.
Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley
Sweet
Parable
zone.
was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in
Oh,
October
the
of
original
2013,
Steam page?
when the
That's
game
funny.
originally launched. Back
It's
then,
just the Steam
video
page for the
games had
Stanley Parable.
integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste. And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then
He goes into a
succeeds
British
to be
accent.
every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the Memory Zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh. It's gonna be all the shit reviews. Oh no.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
Oh, shit.
I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Jesus, where are we?
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button we shall have.
What the f***? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. We'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
Okay.
The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so elimination working backwards and the deduction therefore becomes impossible here and there anything there is, and never millions left until so much 245 that the logic. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yeah.
I do feel quite
You created this room.
There was one here before. How else
What did you
would we
do?
have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort or a window or some... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
I want to push it again.
You've just been frozen there. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen.
He's gone. Stop it. Make it stop.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant...
Ah! Oh! Push the button. Maybe the whole building will collapse. Oh my god. We're free. Oh my god. Come on, where is it? No. Oh, it's too late. Bro, I was playing the Dune song. Wow, well that was depressing.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh!
What could it mean?
Look at that.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is the game normal again? Whoa, new content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
I did.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Hell yeah, let's go see it. I'm excited to see what you have to show me.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
Right.
The original
extremely
Stanley
disappointing.
Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Wait. Okay, this would be fucking legendary if there actually was a whole new game, but they didn't announce it until they just hit it inside the original game.
Yes, you see,
if that's gonna happen,
superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions. Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel, an entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions.
I love the exposed concrete
is
in
what
here.
fans have truly been asking for.
New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Cool red section of the chart. Boring sections of the chart.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be. But
Okay.
let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem.
Yeah, I'd like a
of the game.
reassurance bucket.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind as your
no
heart
bucket.
is true. As long as you hold onto the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Let me get that bucket, bro.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face
Fuck
of
yeah,
crushing
bud.
despair, must already be
It's my
sweeping
bucket,
through your
baby.
body. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
The jump circle is
And I
the
do
whole
very much enjoy creating
genius.
gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
Okay.
I wanted fans to love it.
Right.
No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Ooh, I like this.
Would it possibly work?
Yeah.
I suppose it could.
Yeah.
But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that
Oh,
says
hi,
with
Stanley.
bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2.
You can't really call it a sequel,
Let me see
can
if I
you?
can whip something up.
I feel like you'd have to call it Ultra Deluxe or something.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
We can skip now, too. Balloons!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
The bucket. Oh, thank
Stanley
God.
picked up the bucket.
The glorious, glorious bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if I go through the door on my right? What do you think is going to happen? I'm going to do it.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Indeed.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Of course.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Whee! The endless hole?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Psych!
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, But this one stood above the rest.
It's the bucket's
it was a
narrator.
glorious bucket to behold.
It's not Stanley's narrator anymore. Now the bucket's got its own narrator.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Is it time? Oh, wait. My bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
What?
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
What the?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
What the?
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Hey, bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object?
Nah.
I want to say something to him, but I don't know
The bucket
how I
is
can
my friend,
convince him.
dude.
I don't know if he'll listen to me. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore.
I have the bucket
From
now.
now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much
Sexy
more
bucket,
than just
I know,
a regular
right?
bucket?
It's a good-looking bucket, bro. I don't know.
Oh no.
Oh, we lit some candles.
I'm having feelings. The bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say.
Oh, shit. We lit some candles. We got... What that bucket do, though?
Anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
It's time for me in the bucket now. Where you at, bucket? All right. Chill.
All right, let's actually see what the fuck happens with this bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket,
No.
Stanley. I need it.
No, it's
Give
my
it to me
bucket.
now. Give it or I'll...
Whoa, Hestu, relax.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for
What
you,
is the
Stanley.
baby?
We've come together here because we care about you very much.
That's the creepy
It's
wife
this
thing.
bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
Yeah.
We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters
is the
from the
baby?
first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
Nah, I fuck with the bucket a
Yes,
lot.
I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story
an
involving
intervention?
the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh my god, the game was so much simpler back
Now
then.
this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Right.
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content
What?
exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Don't you say the bucket, Dana?
Don't you get it, Stanley? we need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, no! Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
No! Bro, this shit is wild, bro. Oh my god, it's the Bucket Destroyer.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh my god, guys. How long does it go? How many endings are there?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I also never went that way without the bucket either.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Let's go, baby! This room again? It doesn't even change?
Farewell, Stanley.
Let's go!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into
Wait, this is the same
metal jaws.
We got a narrator for the narrator.
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ha-ha!
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish when every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance? Death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
What
Do you
the
see
hell?
now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start? Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Ooh.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Oh,
No, perhaps not.
the narrator and
Sometimes
Stanley?
these things cannot be seen.
Me and Stanley? Me and the narrator? What?
But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I would say we have done enough. So, that is where I'm going to call it.